So today I want to talk about a lens that was sent over from Viltrox, and it is one of their newer lenses. It's autofocus. It's their 85 f 1.8 millimeter lens that's made for Fuji and Sony. Now, if you don't know Viltrox, they're a lens company. They made a lot of manual lenses before, and I really haven't talked about them or touched upon them, is because I'm not really into manual stuff. But like I said, this one of their newer lenses over the past couple months and everything is autofocus. So when they said, hey, can we send this over to check it out? And the cool thing they said is say anything you want. Now on this channel, I'm very genuine, I'm very authentic, I'm very upfront about when people send things over, etc. But one thing I never hold back on is my opinion. If something's not good, I will call it out. But I do want to say it is rare for a company to say, here you go, say whatever you want. But a company that does that, no BS, no lie, is very confident in their product. And a lot of us got emails recently from another company I'm not going to name yet, so I don't want to give them recognition, where they said, we only want positive reviews. That shit don't happen. But Viltrox seems very confident in their product. So once again, they sent this over for review, but they did not pay or compensate me in any way, just the lens to check it out and share my thoughts. So here's my thoughts on this 85mm f 1.8 autofocus lens that I used on my Fuji X Pro 2. So this lens right here stands out significantly, first of all, because of the price. This is a $400 lens. That's it, an 85 f 1.8 for a $400, especially on the Fuji side of things, because I mainly do stills Fuji-wise. And I do want to say, this is one of the more affordable ones that you can mount on your Fuji. Like for example, the Fuji 80mm f 2.8 runs roughly $1,200. On sale, you can find it for maybe around $900. The 90mm, the newer version, the f2 is about $950. So you get something right around that range, a 1.8 autofocuses for $400. You'll see why it's worth the price, in my opinion. So with this 85mm, you're getting about 127.5 millimeters, full frame 35mm crop equivalent. So you get a lot of range with this. And like you expect, portrait lenses, telephoto, the bokeh is gorgeous. I mean, I don't know what to say. It really, really is good. F1.8 all the way to F16 is your range. Now at F1.8, it's pretty sharp for the most part. It gets pretty optimal around F2.2. And then as you go up, obviously it gets better, 4, 8, etc. But even at 1.8, I'd still say it's very, very usable. It is smooth, buttery, creamy, whatever you want to use to describe it. This has great bokeh. And I also want to say it's also extremely fast autofocusing. I haven't had any issues, haven't noticed hunting or anything. Once again, using on the X Pro 2, so not even on like the XT3, etc. with better autofocus and everything. This held up very, very well. Quick autofocus, snappy, smooth, great bokeh. I also want to mention the build quality of this lens. It's not some plastic cheapy, cruddy lens right here. You're getting an optimal piece of glass. You're getting what feels metallic to a point. Build right here, better aluminum and everything, not plasticky. The only thing I will say is it does not have weather sealing. So if you're out in the elements, be a little bit careful. But if your camera has it, you will be good with this. But the lens right here doesn't have it, right on the back. So in regards to like chromatic aberration, ghosting, flaring, etc., they do have a couple elements on there, and they do have one HD nano layer that I want to talk about. It's multi-coated, and it reduces all of that. And it does have an STM, a silent motor. So you don't hear clinking, clunking, or anything when it goes around. Like I said, it's very smooth, very silent, and you probably won't even hear it in your video, even though you shouldn't be using autofocus during video. But that being said, it's good. I guess the last thing to talk about here, and it's something you have to get used to, is that this does not have a physical aperture ring on the lens itself. Usually a lot of the Fuji lenses has their own aperture ring here, but you just have to control that usually on a dial on the front or back, or however you set up on whatever Fuji or Sony camera that you have. Sony, obviously, if you get this used to not having one, but if you're on the Fuji side of things, a lot of the Fuji lenses have an aperture ring that you can click and everything on the front, but it's not hard to flick a little switch to change the aperture to get it wherever you need. And one thing I wanted to throw in too, right near the electronic contacts back by your mount, is that on the metal bayonet right here, there's actually a micro USB slot right here where my finger is that you can do firmware updates through Viltrox's site. So you can actually keep your lens up to date through firmware. I think that's really cool. Usually you see it a lot of time on the actual body of a lens, but like I said, it's built right on the back mount, right here underneath the contacts. Overall, I mean, for $400, I would highly recommend this. And like I said, a company to reach out like they did and to be as confident that they did, I was very interested in really grinding and testing this. And I will say, they do make a great product. And I haven't reviewed them before because they were all manual stuff, but Viltrox is someone to look at, and hopefully they make things in the future and really drive competitive pricing and everything. And you get essentially what you need in the package right here. You get a plastic lens hood. I wish it did match more of what was going on, but lens hood aren't necessarily that important per se. And if you want to keep the cost down, that's the way to do it. You get both caps, a carrying case, etc., and it comes packaged well. But Viltrox, once again, they sent it over. If you want to check out any of the links, I'll leave them down below. I'll send that to the Viltrox site, and if for some reason I have an Amazon or something like that, it'll be an affiliate link. So if you want to support the channel, you can do it that way. But once again, check out the 85 1.8. It's very, very good. Something I'd highly recommend. It's $400 for something like this. Less than everything Fuji's offering right now. And kind of on the same, I would say, par quality as them as well. Fuji makes good stuff, but this Viltrox lens, also very, very good.